welcome to the Round the Table podcast. This is episode numero 5.
Let's go.
Episode numero 5, yeah. On this episode, I got some friends. We're doing another one of these home team episodes. I got some friends, and I don't know if you recognize some of the voices already or the laugh already. There you go.
What's up?
Yeah, if you've been around these parts of town, you probably recognize those voices already. But if you don't worry about it. I got these guys that are going to introduce themselves today. So let's start off right over here.
What up, friends? I'm Adrian, if you haven't recognized me already.
Hello. Oh, me?
Yeah,
sorry. My name is Nicholas, a.k.a. Nico for everybody. So, that's me.
Also, a.k.a. Ricardo,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
find him on email.
Oh, yeah. If you find me on email, it's Ricardo. Yeah. I'll explain that later.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. They always make it easy for us, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So we got Adrian on the episode. We also have Nico on the episode. And really the reason why I wanted these two guys to be on this episode is because we're actually going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about worship music, secular music. We're going to be talking about this interesting article and thing that came out having to do with the word worship leader being trademarked. We're going to talk about, kind of what we think the current state of worship music is, because every single one of us is involved in a worship group and a worship band in some way, in some form. So, so we're going to get into a bunch of these topics. But before we do, really quick, Adrian and Nico, can you guys tell us what your level of involvement is when it comes to music, just so people know a little bit about you guys, how long you've been playing music for, maybe what instrument you play, and any of that other good information.
Yeah, right now for me, I play at this church in Anaheim for maybe like 2 Sundays a month. Not really super consistent, but my main choice of instrument is drums. I've been playing since I was 7, 8 years old. I'm 26 now, so
Hey.
I'm bad at math, but
Hey.
so yeah, I've been.
That would be 19 years.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Long time, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
But self-taught. So, but I picked up along the way some guitar, little of bass and little of keys, but I could get away with some whole chords.
There you go.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Sure.
But yeah, my main instrument is drums.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but basically, you've been playing in church, right?
Yeah, most
Yeah.
in the church. Yeah.
Listen, Adrian, I gotta ask the questions, bro,
What's up,
because
what's up?
I mean, I already know, I know all this information, but just for the listeners, so I'm gonna ask the questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so maybe playing at church, all right? Nico, what's
There
up
you
about
go. Well, I grew up in Argentina, very different place than here, so different background. I started at the age of 6 with piano, and then I dropped when I was 10 because I thought it was very boring. But then at the age of 11 or 12, I picked up again, but more like self-taught keyboard because my parents were officers. So at that time, I don't know, they needed or they just want me to play. So I okay, I'll play. And I learned a few chords. And then at the age of 15, I switched to electric guitar. I invited some friends at home with long hair, shredded pants, black T-shirts, and these guys were shredding Rata Blanca,
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. So I dropped keyboard, and then I focused more guitar, and now, my main instrument I can call guitar, but I learned how to do other instruments out of curiosity.
Okay.
Just, bass, drums, I don't know, whatever you... mainly my whole life I play at church.
Yeah.
But I know you're gonna ask.
Yeah, I am gonna ask.
I did have opportunities to play outside of church.
Yeah.
So again, out of curiosity more and just options or people who randomly come, hey, you wanna play here? It's like, okay, I wanna. So yeah, but mostly it's been I grew up in a church and I still playing at a church. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I will say both of you guys, the way you guys explain your guys' abilities, you guys sound really humble. But man, I'm gonna brag about you guys. You guys are so good. You guys are really good. Adrian's a beast, a drum player. Nico, man, he can shred on the guitar really well. Yeah, Nico plays for a metal band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
No, that metal project. It just became out of fun with some friends. and it's not to go anywhere. It's just do for fun. So, is I found some in the Argentinian community here in Los Angeles. I found some friends that they like the same music that I like, and we just decided to, get together. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'll say just for me, I've been playing, I think, guitar since I was about 14. So I'm a late bloomer, late starter, whatever. So it's been a long time since I've played guitar. And then just have basically been playing for church as well, too, since that time. So same thing, self-taught. I think a guy taught me, he gave me a guitar one time and showed me, 3 chords. Yeah. And then one of them was the F chord, the bar chord, which is the most hardest chord to be able to play, at the beginning.
Have you saw that meme that says, F chord? Nah.
Yeah. Throws guitar in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. Maybe he wanted me to quit. I don't know. Maybe that's why he was trying to teach it to me. But it was really hard. But from there, just kind of picked up, got a chord book and just started picking up and started playing a bunch of, church songs, church music. And then from there, I've just been doing it ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also sing too. Don't forget about that part.
You can sing
a little bit.
Yeah.
Nah.
You can sing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He's one of the goats of singing and playing guitar at the same time.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen him, he's on YouTube. Search up WYI.
No, that's funny. I was like, what? How am I on YouTube?
Just surround the city.
Surround City.
Commissioning 2020.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, don't look those videos up. You won't be impressed. Yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah. So do that as well for sure. So obviously, all of us in a way grew up in the church. Everybody grew up in the church. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So for
Officer's kid.
Okay, pastor's kid, and Adrian, not a pastor's kid, but grew up in basically in the church.
Exactly.
Yeah. From diapers.
For real.
Same thing for me too. Just grew up in the church. So we have a super long history, and also. We all started listening to Spanish worship music, right?
Yeah.
That's the very
That's
first
where we
introduction
started.
to kind of music.
Yeah.
So obviously all of us have...
Todos los Marcos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that means all the Marcos. So you have Marcos Wee, famous songwriter. Marcos Vidal, another famous songwriter.
Barrientos.
Marcos
Yeah.
Barrientos.
Todos los Marcos.
Yeah.
Todo.
Yeah, all those guys. So we grew up with all of that, listening to all of that. So I'm pretty sure that we all would agree that the style of Christian music that we listened to at the very beginning compared to the style that's here now is pretty widely different. Yeah. So it's changed. I think we've all kind of experienced and seen some of the changes happening within music. So my question to you, just to kind of even start us off, is for you guys, what do you guys think the state of Christian music is in? What are your thoughts on it? Where do you think Christian music kind of is at right now? What's some of the good, kind of Christian music? What's some of the music you're I don't think it's that great, or etc.
At least for me, I think it's switched because we grew up in the Hispanic, church, and we're listening to Spanish music, and it's very powerful, right? It's ongoing. It's just keeps on going one after another. But I think now, English music wasn't very popular. I don't think it wasn't. Well, at least to me, it wasn't just it's just worship music, right? But I think now it's switched because mostly the English music we hear now, it's better than kind of the Spanish music. I think they're revamping their style and trying to modernize it into what people are listening to nowadays. Yeah, so I think that's my take. I think it's switched, but it's still kind of good. I think the English holds up more of they're pushing out content more and making it more emotional and stuff. So
More emotional?
yeah.
Okay.
I agree with him. It's very viral now. I think before you had to really discover back in the days, this is a Christian artist, or this is or sometimes you hear a corito or a song at your core or your church. When you were a kid, it was okay, I'm just hear this song just here, and then you find out, actually, is this guy singing it, or is this artist? It's that happened to me. It's I had no idea. I was playing the songs because my parents taught me, because whoever taught me, I had to play Dios está aquí or whatever, Renuévame, for example. And I had no idea until there's an actual recording about this song, and his name is Marcos Witt, And then, I think right now it's more viral. Like you already know who sings it, like the name of the album, whatever. And I think, like he said, the Christian music in the United States or the English speaking took over the Spanish one, because now you hear all these either translations of the songs from the United States, or they create a similar style. So, which is really cool. I mean, it's fun to hear those songs. Before, maybe it was like, it was very specific, but I think now if you put a worship song with a radio song, could sound maybe similar. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you think? Like, let's talk about maybe like lyrically, like, what are your thoughts on just kind of Christian music, like lyrically, now? Like, okay, maybe even before that, like when you listen to music, what do you guys first like listen to? Do you like pay attention to the music first, or do you listen to the lyrics first? Like, what's the first thing that kind of grabs your guys' attention?
Music, Christian music,
Christian
or
music.
or music in general.
Oh, let's say maybe are they different?
I don't know. But for me, for example, if I hear like regular music or music, I just hear the music first.
Secular, okay.
But with Christian music, I listen the lyrics first.
Okay.
I was like, if I like it or not, I don't know. I picked up the lyrics first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for me, it's
you?
more. I listen to the music first in all music, but then when it comes to like Christian and secular music, I secondly I go to the words, but I don't really pay attention to the words of the secular music, because I know what they're kind of talking about, what their general idea is to talk about. But, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So,
Although the secular music is like super catchy, so you're gonna catch it on
Yeah.
so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have like I don't know what it is, but who comes up with those lyrics, but they're just so catchy, and the rhythm is so catchy that you're not even thinking about it anymore. You're just like, oh, I know this song. How do I know this song?
you pick it up quick.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, especially with like songwriting, the way that they've like changed like songwriting now, right? Before, like you can have a 3-4 minute, even a 5-minute long song, but now it's like 2 to 3 minutes. You make it super catchy, super sticky. The song, songwriters, and then like 2 to 3 minutes, and then
That's
boom, you're done.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like a quick, always
Yeah.
like a quick like dopamine hit. You listen to it, you feel good, you're jamming out for like 3 minutes, and then the song is over. On to the next, into the next one.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, even with like secular music and all that, I think like now, before people would focus on making like a really good album, good 12 songs, to make a solid album. Now it's like, no, let's just make like just sticky, catchy tunes, just one at a time, and just throw all their like attention behind one really sticky, like catchy song.
Yeah.
And then because they make money off of it, they monetize it. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Of course.
Yeah. But like, okay, so like, let's talk about, you guys say, so Christian music, you pay attention more to the lyrics, right? What do you guys think about like songwriting, like Christian songs? Like, have songs gotten better? Have songs stayed the same? What, like, has songwriting changed in terms of like words and things of that sort that people are writing down?
Well,
Go ahead.
me?
Yeah.
I think based on this, right now I'm just remembering the songs, for example, that we play at Surround the City, we do for that group and everything. Majority, they sound very personal, like personal lyrics. Like I think there's just a few songs that I don't think there's that many that talk about the congregation, more like personal. Which is, I don't think it's bad. I think it's really good. It's good to, it helps a lot to connect with God, those, because it's very personal. I don't know if he's do it on purpose. I don't know if it's actually natural. That I really don't know. But I noticed that a lot of the lyrics are more personal. And yeah, I think it's really great. And it helps a lot to connect. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think it's more of like a when they write these songs out. I think it's more of like my relationship with God, and that's about it. Because technically, that's what it is, right? You can't walk the walk with God that I'm walking with. Like it's more of like me and him thing. So I think it's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although back in the day, I remember these songs were at least the Spanish songs that I grew up. They were more congregational.
Yeah.
And also they were really like exactly what the like how the Bible said it.
Yeah.
Like it's like it was very specific.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it changed it a lot. At least from what I remember from now, yeah, it changed a lot. I think it became more personal.
Yeah.
Which is great. I
Yeah.
think because you relate like right away.
You can relate to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you relate right away.
Yeah, I've seen the same exact thing too. I think it's changed a lot. I think like obviously even if you go back to say like 100 years or something like that of people like writing songs, like there's a lot of like hymns that people will sing, and here's where
You listen to to
listen-
hymns. Oh,
listen,
there we
I-
go, bro.
no, no, I'm not confessing that because I don't.
Yeah.
But like one thing that I have realized. Okay, so before, like if you were to ask me like 10 years ago, maybe like whatever 15 years ago or something, like what do you think about hymns? I'm like, they're old. Like I don't think they're like relevant anymore. Like I just don't like. It's just not my thing,
Yeah.
And to be honest, like there's a lot still that I wouldn't listen to. It's just not my it's not my thing. I still stand there.
Yeah.
But I've also kind of like realized that there are some like super powerful like hymns that have like maintained and that have like lasted for like there's a reason why it's lasted so long for generations,
true.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's kind of like what you're saying, Nico, that I've experienced too with like Spanish music, but like a lot of the songs are so theologically like deep and rich
Yeah.
that like it doesn't matter if you were,
Yeah.
whatever, like 50 years ago, your life was different. Your career was different. Like that was so powerful and true that it applied to your life then, and it still applies to your life now. I think one of like the songs that comes to mind is like Cornerstone, right? So like Cornerstone is a song that was written actually a long time ago. I think just some people have kind of like came and modernized it and made it more like easier for us to kind of sing. But like the truths behind those songs,
They're very
like,
solid.
are solid.
They're very solid.
They're like really, really solid. And that's one thing that I personally like about that. I see the thing too where like a lot of songs are more personal. Yeah, they're more about me, about myself and my relationship with God. And I like some of those songs.
Do you think that's why, because they're so personal, that's why they get so much controversy?
I think in part of it, yeah, because, and I think also too, like looking at some people's perspective, is that some people will say like the songs are just me centric.
Yeah.
They're focused on me all the time. And I do think at some point that's not that's like, that could be a problem when everything is like focused just only on you. And it is focused on you and God, but it's like about how I feel, about how God is, like trying to bless me, how God is trying to work in me. And it's all like me.
Yeah.
And sometimes like it can turn into a song about me and not into a song about worship where it becomes about him. Yeah. Have you guys seen any of that? Like in kind of some of the songs, like some of the music?
Well, not that I see it, like I judge it, but I find out, for example, a few months ago, just preparing for an event or something, or just preparing stuff for Surrounding City that we have, the song Champion, for example, I was randomly, I just found like, oh, this song has a lot of fights or a lot of controversies, like a lot of opinions, like, oh, I didn't know that. But it's the lyrics are very personal. They are very personal. It's like, it's not like, it says you are my champion, like mine. Yeah, but it doesn't sound like very like congregational. It's like mine. But I know there's other parts in the lyrics that people have some opinion, say, this part, I don't know if that's true because theology or the Bible says this. It's like, I think because they became so personal, that's why they get some controversy. Yeah. And then I forgot what you asked, but but that's just
I think that's a good example.
That's one.
Thing.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's
you were talking about
one,
example. Yeah, that's one song that comes to my mind.
Yeah. Champion is the one. I think people have a problem with the bridge of that song. I think it's like when I
Yeah.
open up my mouth, miracles
Exactly.
start breaking out.
And also,
I have the
I
authority.
heard other people complaining about the chorus, and it's like, okay, I'm not a Bible expertise. I'm gonna be vulnerable here,
Yeah.
but it's a great song. It's a great lyric.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a person to judge who wrote that, if it was right. I don't know,
Right.
but at least that's what I seen. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it the same way. I'm like, I'm not a theological expert, so I'm like not gonna super dig deep and like, what does this line say about this? What does it actually mean? Like, because the only person that kind of knows what like he wrote is the person who wrote it, But I'm not gonna get like super deep in. I mean, maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is to that. Like, should I be digging deep into what these lyrics are saying or whatever? But to me, I get where like they're coming from when they write these songs, and like when I hear Champion, like I get it, But I'm not gonna bash this song, or whatever, just because. I mean, somebody could relate to it that likes the song, and if I don't play it, then they're kind of not like. I don't know. It's just weird.
The cool thing, we
Yeah.
have the freedom to play it or not.
Right,
you know?
right,
Yes.
right.
And then if we
Exactly,
play it,
sure.
okay, we play it,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
because we're not gonna do it with every song.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure if you listen to all these songs, there's somebody's gonna find something wrong with it, no matter what, because that's what people kind of do nowadays. Like the only thing is like, oh, this lyric doesn't fit because that's not correct, and then the whole song is into shambles and you can't sing it.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna do that
I-
with 50,000 songs.
Although I think it's very healthy to search and
Right.
to at least check,
Right.
like what it says, and then analyze it, and then you can decide, should I play it, should I not? But at least it should be healthy. Like that experience with Champion, it was good for me. I was like, oh, okay, and then I start like, what this song says about. Then I start putting random songs like, okay,
Yeah.
I think it's healthy, just that.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so I'll play like part of like devil's advocate a little bit and just, yeah. I wish there was another way. I wish there was another way to say that.
Wow,
Is there
bro.
like, yeah, I'm not advocating for the devil. Definitely not. But you know what I'm saying. That's the phrase. Yeah, exactly. But okay, that's the phrase. Okay, so in that case, so let me ask another question. Should we be singing non-truths?
Well, we shouldn't.
So okay,
Right.
period. We shouldn't. Period. If you, I'm just curious if you're gonna say a but.
like I feel like there's one coming, but I feel like there's not, because if we're not singing
When
the
you
truth,
say truth, truth is the Bible,
truth is
right?
the
You're
truth,
talking
you
truth,
know?
right? Not just truth, like moral truth or like.
Or well, I mean,
Bible,
well,
right?
Well, if you're talking about like moral truth, maybe you can say like there are truths. Like truth is doesn't
word.
matter what truth.
The
Yeah,
word?
truth is the word. Yeah,
Okay.
but then there is also truth that is still a part of God's character, right? So whether it's like whether it's quote unquote Christian or non-Christian, it's still truth. So therefore, that emanates
like
from God.
love, peace, that kind of stuff. No.
Yeah, it still kind of emanates from God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know where you're going.
So I'm flipping it to you to say like, okay, in that case, like as a church, should we sing songs that are untrue, right? Because if we're talking about theologically looking at lyrics, if there's a song that's theologically not true or incorrect, and we're just like, yeah, but it sounds good, but it's not that big of a deal. Let's just brush it underneath the rug. Then is that a good practice for us to do?
I don't know, because the truth is the truth,
Yeah.
like the truth is the truth. You can't steer away from it. You can't whatever, because then you're making people fall into, you're backlashing basically. You're making people not believe in what God is really doing. But I don't know. I think nowadays people let it slide more than ever, because you're talking about like another song, Reckless Love, another one that's like, is God's love reckless?
Oh, I
And
didn't know about that one.
God's love is reckless.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think God's love is reckless. We're talking about like God's love is like powerful. It's, whatever, but I'm just like, that song was overplayed like billions of times in church and whatever. And it's like a staple, like Cornerstone. So I'm like,
That one has
I'm not
controversy.
sure.
I never heard it.
That
Sorry.
song, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know.
Or How He Loves Us has controversy too.
Yeah.
Because of the sloppy wet kiss.
Yep.
Right. That's another one.
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody just changed up the lyric really
Right.
quick. Yeah. You guys forgot about that one,
I
right?
remember. Now in Argentina, before I'm moving, there was a song from Jesus Adrian Romero, "La Niña de tus Ojos."
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
It was like, I'm not a girl, like
Right. Right.
Right.
like, but the word says, it says "La Niña de tus Ojos."
Yeah.
It says, so and I remember there was a lot of controversy,
Yeah.
and I remember some people will decide at the court to sing it or not. Some
Yeah.
people, nah, I'm not. We used to switch the worship leaders
Yeah.
every Sunday. So some worship leaders, they will be like, "Yeah, I want to play a song." Like, okay, we'll play it.
Yeah.
And then the other song, no, we're not gonna play these songs. We're not. So, but I remember that one. It's like la niña de mis ojos, la niña de tus ojos. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they said the discussion was, well, it's in the Bible. God says, "Eres la niña."
Yeah.
Okay, but no soy niña, soy varón. Like, whoa, that's what the Bible said.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just, I just remember that.
Yeah,
it
like
was kind
yeah,
of funny.
Yeah, in English, that song is if you literally translate, it means the girl of your eye,
Yeah.
right? But what it actually like what it means is the apple. It's like it's supposed to be the apple of your eye, right? But the fact that the song says like the girl of your eye, I'm sure all these dudes are like,
You can Google it. La niña
Yeah.
de tus ojos, la niña de mis ojos, Jesús Adrián Romero.
yeah. Everyone's like, La Niño de tus ojos, the boy of your eye, right? Everyone's like, I'm not trying to sing that. Yeah. Uh-huh. But I do think like, I think when it comes to, I'll take the stance of like, when it comes to, like say some of our Christian music, I think it's important that we don't sing untruthful things, right? But there are things that are metaphor. There are some things that are metaphor that we take liberties with metaphor, and maybe it's not like, it's means something else. It's a metaphor for something else.
I just want to add something. The other thing that add more controversy is like the songs are catchy.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what is it? It's the song that everybody's singing now, so let's just sing it. It's like, so also that gets in the middle, whoever wrote that song, they knew what they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
And people are like that too, like everywhere. Like you have to teach a song that's, catchy or repetitive and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a song you're looking for, but it's not what you're looking for. At the same time, I'm like, all right.
It becomes catchy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then you feel like you have to play it so people can stay at your church, right? So they don't leave to that other cool church that's playing all that cool music, right? You're like, yeah, I'm sure pastors or whatever, are like, yeah, we gotta do it. Yeah, so we can save souls, so we can bring people to Jesus. So I want to get you guys' opinions and thoughts on, like, what do you guys think in terms of like Christian music right now, like the actual art of Christian music? Do you guys think it's good? Like, what do you guys think it's at? My kind of opinion is like the one thing I don't like about it with like contemporary Christian music is that it all sounds the same. It literally sounds like the same exact formula for all of these like songs that are like super popular. And funny, I think the group that started some of that is actually like, I feel like it's Hillsong United that started like this like formula, and then every single song afterwards, it became the same exact formula. It's like, it's like choruses, and then or like, you have like a verse, then you have like a pre-chorus, and then for that first chorus, we all cut out and we just sing it a cappella, and then we come back into it, and then you go to the bridge, and then you build up the bridge, and then you just to come back into like a heavy chorus. And it's like every single song like sounds exactly like that. I just feel like with a lot of it, it's just like not very creative. It feels that way.
Shout out to all the bass players that come in at the third bridge.
Yeah.
They don't play the first part of the song. Shout out to them, aka Eric. Eric,
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
exactly.
You have time to do like work emails and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, my take on it, I think it is, I agree with you. It's like super structured, and like, this is your list, and you got to check it off in order to make this song great. But I also see the other side, because I'm like, I'm not going to say hate, but I dislike playing This Is Amazing Grace.
There you go.
This is Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
All day. Oh my
Already
God.
the intro
Oh my-
started.
yeah. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, oh my God. I see it on the set list, and I'm like, oh, really? And we're doing this today.
Start packing up your
Really-
drum set. I'm leaving.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you hear it like on YouTube or something, it's different. You know, they give it a different vibe. Or like other churches that have really good musicians, they revamp it and they do something new with it. But they could only do that because the structure of it is so plain and simple that them doing whatever they want is easy to do because they know where they're going to fall on. They know where the one's at. They know where everything's at. So they have the liberty to just do whatever they want, and then it's easy, you know? So I get that, but I also get the other side because they could do it with every song, you know?
Yeah.
To me, I think the worship music, or CCM, I don't know how to call it, it became a genre. That's how you call it? Un género.
Yeah, like general, yeah.
Genre. So, like, if you listen to metal, you know what you're going to expect.
Oh, like a genre.
Genre.
Like a genre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
genre.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Gotcha.
Español, entiéndame.
Yes.
Encima español argentino.
Yeah,
so,
genre.
yeah, a genre.
Yeah.
So, like, if you listen to metal or you go to a metal playlist, you're going to find metal music. And metal is in one way. If you go to pop or whatever. So I think the worship music, I'm not going to say it became worse, better, bad, because I'm not an expertise. But it became a genre music. And it became very popular as well because the things that you guys said, like the formulas and like, this is the verse, and this are the effects, the guitar sound this way, the bridge sound this way. So it became something that it became very popular, very viral. So it became a genre itself. And I think right now, if you go a playlist, worship list, okay, you know where you're going. You're going to find that.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I think I don't know if it became better or worse, but it became a genre for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Izzy on our way up to camp. Shout out to you, Izzy. But he was like, maybe it's bad to say, but he was like, I don't really listen to Christian music because like it's the same effects, it's the same thing, it's the same concept. He's like, it just gets a little boring. But I'm like, yeah, you listen to it, and he's like, it's all the same. Yeah, I had this one experience at church where it was like, hey, the pastor's gonna sing this song like 2 minutes before the service starts. He's like, hey, he's gonna sing this song when he calls us up. He's like, okay, what song is it? And I've never heard that song in my life.
There you go.
Never. And they're like, the MD, he was like, don't worry about it. It's just like a tom groove, and then you come in on the chorus, and then you drop it on the bridge. And you're good. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. So I listened to the song. I'm like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. And
right.
it was fine, but
Yeah.
it's just, but it did become a specific genre.
Yeah, it's just the sound is very specific. The equation of like formulas, whatever in the bridge, it's all the same. But it just because that's the style of music, that's how it is, and that's how it works for that specific crowd, specific congregation, specific listeners, and that's what they like, and that's nothing bad about it. It's just that's how the genre is.
Yeah, for sure.
And same thing. I don't listen so much music because it become repetitive. So I want to listen now. I don't know, classic rock. And then when you get tired of classic rock, I'm just gonna jump to
something
Spanish rock or Spanish from Argentina, whatever. So and so. You just change it out. Depends your humor and depends
like
how
what you're
in your
feeling
life.
at that time. Yeah, totally. Yeah. For me too. I think I just don't listen to it very much because it's so predictable. So sometimes I can kind of like listen to a new song, and I just instinctively I know what's about to happen, and then it happens. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm good with this. Yeah.
In a personal level, I listen worship music. The moments I listen a lot of worship music is when I'm going through stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when I need encouragement, and I need and I know that I can find that in this type of music because of the word, not because of the music, not because I know I can. It will remind me stuff that I need to hear or I need to remember for the moment that I'm living.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think for me, like when it comes to music, I listen to, I try to focus on lyrics just because that's kind of more of like my I don't know, my inclination, to go towards lyrics and hear what people are writing, try to find out even like the backstory about like the reason why people are writing these songs or whatever. And to me, that's more of the fun, the intrigue behind it.
Yeah.
And it's part, and it could be that's partial why I don't listen to, or why it's all feels so predictable.
Yeah.
But I try to go and listen to lyrics because
you can listen Cornerstone a million times, but because that's what you needed. That's what you need to hear
at that time.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't mind,
Yeah,
You know.
those lyrics, those things stand forever, like
Yeah.
the test of time. They stand the test of time for sure. I think I think for a while there, I do think that we need more like different genres of Christian, maybe like spiritual music. I think that's really important. I think that's why maybe like even looking back, say 10, 15 years ago, that's why like Gungor, for example, was like so big. Why they had the time there.
Sorry, I never
that
heard
was so
that.
big. You never heard of Gungor?
No.
Yeah, that's why they were so big, because like it was like
Different.
kind of Christian music, but it was completely different. Like crazy time signatures.
Wow.
Just the style of it was like something you would not hear at
For
church, except for like one or two songs.
I remember when I was a kid, there was another music. There was a group, Christian group, that they used to be Luis Miguel musicians, and they called it Torre Fuerte.
Oh yeah.
And at that time, when they show up, it was like everybody was mind blown because they were killing it.
Yeah.
And they were all songs like super catchy, like Luis Miguel, whatever. And it was the only thing I remember when I was a kid. People was like, yeah, but Torre Fuerte, bro. Like those guys can play. But it was different just because the technicality.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The musicianship, the level, was like way.
Yeah,
way
those
kind of
guys,
higher. Yeah, elevated. Yeah, for sure. I think that's like, I think it's interesting. I think we need more creativity. I think the more people are like, just kind of
there you go.
operate in their own gifts and their own talents and like bring forward their own kind of style. I think the more like, actually, I think the better it is. One, because a person.
Do you think for the lyrics too, Dad?
I think the lyrics have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm saying creativity on the lyrics. Do you think they need also that?
That's a good question. I think I personally I don't mind metaphors. Like I like metaphors, and I think that's like the flip side of like a little bit of what we were talking about, like with Adrian. I don't like singing untruths, but also I feel like there is a space for like metaphors, things that are like metaphorical that you can kind of like relate to, understand. Because even with that stuff, like Jesus spoke in parables, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because sometimes parables kind of speak broader to people.
Yeah.
People can understand like things a little bit more.
Yeah.
So as long as like you kind of present it, you let people know, like I think that's like really helpful. People can kind of like grasp it like a little bit better.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but lyrically, I think there's a lot of really cool music coming out that lyrically is like really, really good. Yeah, and then you hear the backstory of like some of those like songs, and you're like, wow, this is like crazy. And like, give you one example really quick. Elevation Worship has a song called Lamb, and I'm pretty sure it's called Lamb, right? Yeah, the Tiffany one.
Yep.
Yeah. And she talks about the story behind like the song, and it talks about like historical time, of like a movement of God. Wow. And there's a phrase in there. I think the phrase is "Let the Lamb receive his reward in me," and you can kind of hear that. Like, I've never heard that before, and it sounds cool. But then you hear the story behind it, and you're like, "Whoa, this is like
just
deep,
in one
dude.
phrase."
Just the one
in
phrase.
one phrase, you grabbed.
Your mind is like blown. So respect to all those like songwriters that are doing it for sure. I want to go negative, but there is one song that annoys me, and I know this is like, maybe we'll keep in the podcast episode or not. But there's one song that somebody wrote one time, and it's like my pet peeve song, a song that I absolutely like don't like.
Which one?
And it's called "God's Great Dance Floor."
What?
God's Great Dance Floor.
I think I'm
And the artist shall remain unnamed, just so that, anyways. But I'm like, huh? Like that. I mean, whatever. I haven't read that in the pages of scripture. So you're like taking a lot of liberties, but I'm just like, oh, nah, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyways. But all right, really quick, let's just move on to the hot topic of
There you
the
go.
of the conversation here, right? So just once again, really quick, these are just our opinions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these are just kind of some things that we think, we feel we could be right, we could be wrong. We're open to that. But yeah, I want to talk about one thing really quick that we kind of actually kind of spurred on this conversation, this episode. I think Adrian and myself were talking, or he sent me like a video one time, and he's like, "Hey, listen to this. Tell me what you think." And whenever he sends me that, I'm like, oh, "Okay, here we go. Here we go." I start just buckling in. I start strapping in. I'm like, "I'm ready. I'm ready to have an opinion on some stuff." And you'll have a link to what we're talking about in the show notes here. But basically, it was an Instagram video from Chandler Moore, who went on. I don't know if he went on IG Live or just kind of posted like a video, talking about like just some plans that he has in the future in terms of music.
The mission he has.
The mission.
He has a mission.
Oh, it's the mission.
I mean, a mission.
Okay, the mission he has. So I'm gonna read it really quick, and then we'll just talk about it. I want to know what you guys think. Adrian's been just chomping at the bit, waiting. He's waiting. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. He keeps telling me to wrap it up. So come on, get to what I want to talk about. But here, I'll read what he said, and this is what he said. And you can find it in the article. It says, "I think it's cool that we believe in a Bible life manual that covers everything from relationships and sex to spirituality and prophecy. It shows us that though life is multidimensional, it should still be centered around Christ. On a mission to produce and create more music from that perspective, music that the world can sing along to, and while they're singing to God, God uses it to sneak in the heart of the listener to do what he wants. Music that I can sing about my love for my wife, the same love that glorifies God. I want music about life and love that has a perspective that is safe for my kids who love God to listen to." That's what he kind of wrote.
How old his kids are?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. That's a great question.
So his first one is maybe about a year.
There we go. Okay,
so let's get that out the way.
So that's my first question.
Yep.
How old his kids are?
Yeah. So I don't think he's about to sing about sex in a long time. I don't think he can even speak right now.
Yeah. So that's what he kind of came out. Obviously, Chandler Moore, he's a Christian songwriter, has written some great songs. We've all sung them. We've all been like touched by the songs. And then he kind of comes out and says, "Yo, as an artist, I want to be able to create songs about love, songs about he says sex here. He songs about all these other type of things." So we're laughing because Adrian has some strong feelings about it. Like I said,
two waters.
Two waters. Yeah. And you can see if you find his Instagram account, Chandler Moore's, you can see people have a ton of different opinions. Same thing here. We're talking about these are just opinions, and we're not all gonna actually. All three of us here probably are not gonna all agree on it, but that's totally cool, and we find that you hopefully enjoy it. So, Adrian, thoughts when you saw it?
I was kind of confused. I'm like, what are you trying to do in the first place? Because I'm like, one of the phrases was he was like, I want to make music that speaks more than our relationship with God. That was one of the phrases he says in there, and I was like, more than our relationship with God. I'm like, what does that even look like? Because our whole point is to walk with God and have a relationship with God. We hear it all the time. God wants to have a relationship with you, and that's what he wants. So why would we speak? I don't know how to intertwine talking about sex in our relationship with God, because that's a little weird. That's me and my wife. That's our wife. As we're married, that's a personal thing. It's not like leave that to the world, to talk about that, because they talk about that and they have no remorse for anybody's ears, when they speak about that. So like, how do you talk about that in a way that glorifies God? So I don't know what that looks like. So that's why I'm hitting like a roadblock of like, nah, bro, like we don't need to, we don't need to hear that, I get it. Your like relationship is glorifying God and stuff, but still that's not a thing. Like, we have a structure. We don't talk about that in like, in the church, we don't, unless you're married, you're like, cásate primero, we all heard it, cásate primero y luego puedes hacer lo que quieras, but. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Nico, I want to know I got some follow-up questions for you, Adrian.
Yeah,
so I'm ready.
Yeah.
So before we get to that, Nico, what do you think?
I saw the video. First of all, the first thing that I tried to see was the body language. The guy didn't look excited for that announcement. Mm-hmm. he looked very like, I'm gonna do this. Like, what do you guys think? Like, super like, because if I'm an artist and I get that popularity, and I get, I'll be, hey guys, I'm about to bring this. This is a new record. I'm gonna go solo now. Like, show some excitement. The guy didn't show it. They was like, I'm just here. Okay, that was the first thing. Like, if you're gonna make a huge announcement about your career that I'm sure it pays bills and maintain your family, is like, it's like, why you don't show excitement? That was my first kind of question. It's like, that's weird. He didn't show excitement. The second thing is like, he's an artist. He's very popular again. He's very well known. He can do whatever he wants with his creativity, his music, whatever his mind. He can do whatever. My other question was like, is he Argentine?
Argentine?
Because to me, it sounded a little bit arrogant. It sounded a little bit arrogant. It's like I'm gonna do this so people can like, no, bro. Like, God is gonna use you if He wants you, and He wants you to be His tool. If He wants you, if not, then But he kind of like bragged out, like, I'm in a mission. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save the world. It's like, no, bro.
Yeah.
You're not Argentine. But I'm just saying that joke because there's a thing that they say people Argentines are arrogant, which is true, but it's part of our personality. It's a cultural thing, and the same for everybody else. But yeah, he sounded a little bit arrogant to myself. To me, it's like, no, bro. I think you have all the freedom. If you have the money and everything, you are totally free to do whatever you want with your music. And if based on that inspiration that you get, who knows where, it looks like it doesn't come from God, it comes from his wife and the way she looks.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to write down about that, sure, do it. But, I don't know, just say, through that, God is going to speak. Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no, but you are no one to determine that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for that. For me, I'll be honest, I'm just like in the middle. Like I still need more time to think about it, just because my thoughts racing too much in a lot of different directions. But okay, really quick. So Adrian, and then they go to Nico. So Adrian, really quick. So you're saying the church doesn't talk about, like the church doesn't talk about sex and maybe shouldn't be talking about sex or whatever, or whatever. One, why don't you think that the church talks about that? This other thing is that I think the Bible has a lot to say about it. We just don't ever go to that book of the Bible to kind of discuss it. So like where I would go is like the Song of Solomon. People like sometimes have like interpreted that book to be like, no, it's not about like sex. It's about like just you're in your relationship with God and how cool it can be and how like, but then you look at it and you're like, nah, I don't actually know. It says like a lot more kind of like, there's a lot of metaphor. There's a lot of metaphors in there that I just don't, I don't think that's the intention, behind it. Where it is more about like a newlywed couple that's, together and that are basically like, in a marriage and they're doing what they're right, whatever's their right is as a married kind of couple, etc. So there is some precedent there for the church to kind of like, for it to be within what we can discuss. But I'm curious, why don't you think the church talks about it as much? Or maybe, do you feel like the church shouldn't talk about it?
I feel like that's, me personally, I feel like that's more of like a intimate kind of like, yeah, let's get that book right and the metaphors we explain it, but let's have that conversation between me and my wife. Let's not.
And a counselor.
Yeah, exactly. Like
pastor,
stuff like
counselor,
that. Yeah. It's not in the open, it's not like we're like over there, oh, like it says this, so it's okay to do this, or, because then you get the misinterpretations, of like what people are going to say, because people are so judgmental that they're just going to pick at it and like because you're talking about this, then, so I think the church, I think it's a touchy subject, for sure, because it's not like, oh yeah, like you're going down the street or you're like, oh yeah, I did this, or, because it's not what you do. You know, it's more an intimate 2-person kind of thing. You know, it's just a touchy subject.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
if somebody was to be like, hey, at your church, they're like, hey, guess what? We're doing an 8-week series on the Song of Solomon. Welcome. You know, like how would you be like, I might have to skip out on that one a little bit or something?
I think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you take the book home?
Yes.
Okay. There you
I
go.
would, I would take the book home and then I'm like, okay, let me reread this. Let me read this by myself and let's see what God's trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of, I don't know, for me, it's a weird, intimate thing.
Yeah.
Same question for me.
Nico, I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think yes, the church should talk about these things. I don't know if it's a song is the right way to do it. You know,
Right.
I don't think a song or a songwriter is the best way to do it. I think if it's a very controversial book in the Bible that people don't know where to take it, I think it should be more deeply like search and more deeply like read it, and someone actually that knows about the Bible and like explain it detailedly. Okay, so with detail, what exactly Solomon tried to write and what he tried to explain with his metaphor or whatever. I don't think a song is. I mean, if the song talks about specifically about that, I don't know if his song it will cover overall everything. It will. Yeah. I'm sure it will touch some topics, but again, it's gonna be all about interpretation at the end of the day. There's not gonna be someone saying, "This is what he tried to say." And, you know,
Right.
I don't think a song, or I don't think it's gonna be enough to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can introduce.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know, but still, it all depends. Again, if God used you, if God used your words, your music, to people understand what you're trying. It's just.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Because like in here, like it was saying, going back to this, because he was like, God is speaking to you and he's going to use your words, right? And then in here, it's like, it talks about like, where is it at? Like it says, God uses it to sneak into the heart of the listener to do what he wants.
Which
and
is true, but like
Right.
how you can be so certain.
Right.
Like, he's going to do it with my songs.
Right.
About this topic. I think it's.
The other thing too was like in the comments, like the first comment on there is like, I don't think it's needed, and I don't think God needs to quote unquote sneak a message anywhere. Like he's not sneaking. Leave that to the devil, that he's prowling over there just watching you from afar, trying to get you away from what God is actually trying to say. Like God is just going to stand there like, I stand there at the door and I knock, So he's not like poking at the window saying like, hey, open up, He's like at the door like, hey, I'm here, So.
Yeah. My thought with like some of what he said was specifically, I think like, I'm curious what exactly he will write and what music he'll actually produce, like what he will say in the lyrics. Because what if he's talking about like, let's say love, love between, you, your wife, your relationship. I'm like, that's cool. I can kind of vibe with that. If it goes into like this idea of like sex, well, what exactly are you saying about it? Like, because, well, one, I think just in general, the way I kind of feel about it is like, I don't listen to songs like, that initially talk about that just period. It's just in my own kind of personal life, about love, sure. But like about sex, like it's not
right.
It's not in my whatever, like, playlist,
right? Because there's a major difference between talking about love and sex,
right? Correct.
Because
yeah,
like he could probably use other words like, oh, I want to talk about love, like in general, and then they'll be like, okay, cool, right. Yeah, but inserting sex in there is kind of like,
whatever he tried to do or to announce, he did it super bad.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's not a way to announce, hey, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
for my career, like. I think he could announce it in a different way, in a different vibe, not in his car with his wife looking at the window, super pissed. But he was about to, I don't know if you noticed, she's like looking at the window and he's like, yeah, I'm here with my wife.
Yeah.
He's super
and he's
awkward.
making it look like he's more of like celebrity, like, which in case he technically is.
He has a big, no, he is. He's popular.
He's popular. He has a lot of big following, but at the same time, like, it does.
Yeah, I think
I think you get into trouble once you go into that celebrities, kind of like I think I'm the
man.
best.
Yeah,
I'm the man. Yeah, you know.
As a celebrity, as a popular guy, very talented singer, and the guy has a talent. I think he has the freedom to do whatever he wants.
Of course, yeah.
He can do, and I think, he wants to do that. He should do it. I think the way he tried to announce it is super bad, and he brought all these type of conversations.
Yeah.
And I think if he wants to do it, he just needs to do it, and then face the criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as a popular person.
Well, what I'm curious about that too is the videos. Like he talks about, this is what I'm gonna do. I think at the end is like, what do you guys think? Right. I'd be like, hang on a second. If you're already gonna do it,
Yeah,
don't
that's right.
don't tell
Don't
people,
ask, yeah.
don't ask people what you think, because people are gonna actually tell you what you
Yeah.
think, and it's possible people won't agree with it. For me, the other problem, two things I'll bring up really fast is, well, my question is, one, does the church need it? Like, is the church like asking for this type of music to be made? I don't know. Everybody can kind of figure that out in your own heart if this is the type of music that you need
Right.
for your life. So that's, and you guys are saying no.
Like,
I feel
No,
like
the thing, who are you to say this is what the church
this is what
needs?
church needs.
Like,
Sure.
who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just Argentino.
Yeah. That's one of them. The other two is like, if it's talking about like listening to songs, if it's about love, I'm always like, okay, well, I feel like it, to a young audience, I feel like, okay, I don't know. If it's love for God, I think it's great. If it's love for like a certain other person around you, like a peer, and you're like a teenager, I don't necessarily always feel comfortable about that, only because as I was looking at like Song of Solomon chapter 8 verse 4 says this: daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it pleases. So it's saying like, don't get a head start on love, trying to find love and all this stuff before it's actually time. And I would almost be like, as a youth pastor, be like, dude, like if you're a teenager, there's no reason for you to date. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy being a teenager. Like, you're not there yet. Like, and like you don't have a job yet. You don't have any of that type of stuff. Like,
No drama.
you're starting this for no reason. Like,
Right.
and I get, obviously some people like fall in love, they meet and they're young. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like high school sweethearts, and they're married and they live 50, 60 years of life. That's great. But I think just maybe as a general rule, it's like, I would almost advise people to like, don't awaken love before it's time. So like, if you're saying, hey, I'm writing this music for my kids, one, like, why do your kids need to like hear songs about love, like about
Right.
maybe love, and I mean, hopefully not songs about sex, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, he said it.
Like right
We
there.
said it right.
He
Yeah.
said it.
Like right
I'm
there.
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, man. I'm trying to help him out just a tiny bit. Nico's like, no, you will not help him out. He said what he said. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't
Sorry.
you want to show your
Yeah.
like kid the love like that you give to your wife and stuff like that, like God's love, like, wouldn't you want to show him that, not like go out there and like sing it? Because for me, like, I feel like he's doing it like a celebrity wise for money, and he's kind of just going that route. But why not just show it like with your actions?
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So
The other thing I will say really fast is like, I'm like, dude, if you want to go this route, all good. Same thing, Nico. Like I just said, dude, we can do whatever you want, dude.
Yeah,
whatever. It's like, it's your
you have the
life. Do whatever
money,
you absolutely
like-
want. Yeah. Just the one thing I would kind of advise, obviously, if he was like here, I would advise to be like, just make sure that later on, if you don't reach whatever success you might want to reach, just make sure you don't throw it back at the church.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
don't say
Yeah.
that you guys did not support me in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, well, did the church ask for it? If we ask for it and we don't support you,
Yeah.
then hey, that's our bad.
That's our bad,
That's
but-
our bad.
but
But if
you-
the church is not asking for it and they don't end up supporting you, and
Yeah.
you feel some sort of way about it, then I think that's going to be
How many artists they went solo, man? Like either Brandon Lake, he didn't went solo a couple times, or this like he didn't have any controversials and nothing, because I don't know, it just whatever he decided to write, it fit with what the church wanted to listen, or like. But I'm sure God used him to do that. Same with
he also made like like a 4-song album talking about his love with his wife, and it's kind of like that.
I didn't hear
but
that
it
one,
it
yeah.
doesn't go like
crazy, like
crazy,
yeah.
like it's more of like
Yeah.
I'm showing you my love, and like
Yeah.
talking about like her eyes or something, or like it doesn't get
super
like
dirty.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't get to that
Doesn't go
sexual
behind the
point.
veil.
You know,
Doesn't
yeah,
go-
exactly. Yeah,
Doesn't go into too
Cochino.
intimacy. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know,
too intimate.
and that's
yeah.
where like you draw the line, you know, and he
Right.
did it perfectly. If you haven't
Yeah.
heard the album, go listen to it for
Okay.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's called Almond Eyes, and it's just an album about his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's
Right.
cool, but
Um,
he didn't. Yeah.
Right. And so once again, to give Chandler Moore a little bit of like whatever support, a little bit is like we don't know what he said yet.
Yeah,
Right.
We don't know what the
exactly.
music
Yeah, we
sounds
don't
like,
know. Yeah,
so we
we
don't
don't
know.
know.
So
Right.
it's possible that he's like,
Yeah.
man, that's a bad take. Why did I say I'm gonna write songs about sex? Maybe it's just about love. Love is what I meant. So he writes if he writes an album where it's about like love and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty fire. Actually, maybe I do like that and I'll
Right,
support
right.
it because
Yeah.
it's good. It's just that the
Maybe-
other aspect that we kind of feel a little weird about it,
I
right?
have more thoughts, but yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah. So really quick, I know we're kind of running out of time, and I wanted to get into the trademark, the worship leader thing getting trademarked. Unless you guys wait, really quick, you guys want to say anything else about the last final thoughts about this?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
The last thing, like, I'm just thinking of like, is he doing it for the money too? You know, because that's a
Yeah.
bigger thing. He still has to provide for his family, and the only way he's doing that is by singing. Maverick City released an album like
How
almost
about
like-
he already did everything, and now it's like, okay, I need to
well, yeah, I
Now,
know.
like-
Well, the thing is, like, he's actually like released like snippets of
Oh, really?
the songs.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
So he's actually like,
going.
yeah, you see him
going
like
through.
on his stories, like he's in the studio and
Okay.
the engineers like playing back some like part of the song. So I'm like, he's already done it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
he
already
done
it's
it.
already
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just kind of maybe trying to ask for confirmation, like of the church, or
Yeah,
see what they
right.
do.
Right.
But
To
who knows
me,
if he even
yeah.
like sees the comments or whatever, which
Yeah.
I'm sure.
he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody does, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody reads them.
That would
Okay,
be,
but you would say really quick, you would say that if it's songs about just love, then you'd be okay with it. A la Brandon Lake.
Yeah,
'Cause you said Brandon Lake's good. His songs are good.
yeah, but like he didn't make an announcement about it. That's the
He
other
just
thing.
did it.
Like
He just did
he
it.
just did it, released it under the rug, and like, hey, like I just made this song, like this album by my like wife, and you know, because it's our anniversary, and that's it. And he did a whole announcement of like this was our anniversary, and this is what I played, but it wasn't more of like I'm talking about this album with my relationship with God.
He didn't bring the church into it. He didn't bring God into
yeah,
it.
Exactly.
He talked
It's a
about-
personal. It's a personal album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show you if you
Yeah.
like it, if you dig
good.
it.
Yeah, but it's aside from
Yeah.
what he already does with the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just wanted your clarification. Yeah.
yeah.
And Nico seems to agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be like it should be like that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds more normal or more like I don't want to say normal.
Because-
More
because-
organic,
yeah.
More organic, yeah,
Yeah.
more. You know, it's just like it's an artist that wants to show art.
Yeah.
This is been in my head, in my heart. I just want to show it.
Yeah.
And if you dig it, perfect. If you don't, then
Because
my bad.
originally, yeah, because
Or-
I
okay,
won't
yeah.
do it again.
originally, like he doesn't say like it's meant for you guys or like whatever.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
more
did
of
it
like
for my wife.
for my wife, and this is it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
whatever. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. Got a little hot in here for a second. So we got to turn the AC on a little bit. Yeah, dudes. So really quick, the last thing we want to talk about, and we'll make this one really fast. So far, if you're still tuning in to this far of the episode, we're almost done.
Shout out to you.
I hope you've been enjoying it. Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
fun.
It's been good. Yeah. So really quick, the last thing, something recently popped up where there's a company that actually trademarked the word worship leader. They trademarked the term worship leader. And now I will say, just off the top of the bat, it does sound more crazier than kind of maybe what it is. But yeah, it's apparently this company. I think it's it's a media company that it's called. I think it's called Worship Leader. They started in 1992, and they've gone ahead and basically kind of trademarked the name. And then from there, like probably before that, I don't think the word worship leader maybe existed. You know, they came up with this thing, and now we use the term all the time, right?
Yeah.
Your main singer, that's your worship leader, the person in
Usually,
front,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So they've kind of came out, and I think they ended up sending a message to Facebook and saying like, hey, some people are using our trademark term, so like, you know, can you like kind of do something about it? And apparently it went kind of crazy. Like they were like, oh, okay. So they ended up like they listed 6 accounts and just more of like, hey, can you like maybe tell them or remind them like you know, can't use it or whatever, and then they turn into like a whole ordeal where like Facebook got super involved in it. You know, they were trying to back them up, and apparently the company is like, no, we're like, we didn't actually want that to happen, but also like we're asking people to like not use it. He's like, hey, so here we go. Here's what they said. This is amazing. It says, owning and managing our trademark is part of stewarding the mission that God has laid on our business, and we take that very seriously, they wrote. Most recently, with the passing of our founder and the new partnership that we formed, we've been a bit behind, but we're now getting caught up and plan to continue to defend our trademark as we have for decades. And for anyone who feels let down about no longer using the term, Authentic Media wants to remind you that God has so much creativity that you can lean in on your own gifting and come up with your own name. So, really quick, just thoughts.
I can't, man. I can't.
So I went to the website, one of the links that you sent me, and it was their website, and they kind of explain what happened. Like, and they said it was like they saw another website doing the same logo, doing the same concept of website, and they said, "That's ours. Don't like we're gonna sue you. You know, we're gonna sue you, whatever." So they trademark, but this is what they say. They didn't know that it was gonna be all like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they kind of apologize, but I don't know, man. I think it was a dirty move to do.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know, how you can trademark something that is used
Worldwide.
For supposedly we are all the same church community, you know, we're
one
like,
body of Christ.
body of Christ, like, and then you just do that, and you know, and then vaguely or very like mild, like apologize.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of behind stuff. It's like,
Would you say it's similar to LeBron James trying to trademark Taco Tuesday?
he did that.
Yeah. Adrian, go ahead. Take it. Adrian, drink your water. Go ahead. Go ahead. Would you say it's equal to that? Yes or no? Like you're trying to trademark Taco Tuesday, a term that's been so widely used.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that too. I can
For
see
sure.
that. They just saw the opportunity and now they're trying to, I don't know, but why would you trademark such a big popular term? Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Maybe their church needs the funding or something, and they wanted to get the credit for it, but they didn't like realize it was so big, like that it was going to get out of their hands. But I'm like, yeah, everybody uses that, like, you know, like Taco Tuesday, like you were talking about. But once he said it, I'm pretty sure like Taco Tuesday every Tuesday was like boom, and everybody was like hashtag Taco Tuesday, you know, LeBron. Every time you say Taco Tuesday, it's LeBron, you know? And LeBron has so many followers that it's like getting pushed out. So all these taco people are like getting, you know, like people are going out there to get tacos, you know, because LeBron is pushing it so much. So a lot of people are watching it, you know, but I don't know. Like if they did it on accident, like just
it sounded, they made it sound as an accident. Man.
Yeah. But they know everybody uses it. And the other thing that gets me too is like at the end where they're like, God has so much creativity that you can lean in on your own gifting and come up with your own name.
Yeah.
That's like, what? Like, okay, you're saying, oh, I didn't mean this to, I mean
music
this to happen.
leader now instead of worship music
leader.
leader.
Yeah.
Christian music leader.
Yeah. Like,
To me, that response kind of sounded like the Christianese response. Like, let me just make like a really spiritual sounding Christian response to like, nah, you guys still can't use it. Yeah, figure something out. Yeah. You guys are smart enough to use something else.
Hey, but again, you know, the term worship leader, it became maybe in this time era became very popular because the genre of music became very popular. Yeah. And they said they saw an opportunity there. It's like, okay, let's use it. But still, man, that's how you can do that.
Yeah. And as far as I know, I think Taco Tuesday, they did not let LeBron trademark that. They're like, it's impossible.
I don't
think
so.
They also, I saw on the links that you sent, it was like, At the beginning, they didn't care until they saw big people who use the worship leader phrase in their accounts, like Instagrammers or like big people.
Yeah.
That's when they, sorry. It was like my bad. Sorry, I didn't try to do that.
Yeah.
But it's until that happened. This is what I read. They didn't care. Like they didn't like. Okay, we just until big people started complaining and they were like, sorry, my bad.
Right.
That also was sketchy. It's like, really? You really sorry?
Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, well, there you go. We ended the show on a more funny, upbeat kind of spot. Thanks again for tuning in. I want to thank both of you guys for jumping on this episode. I hope you guys had a good time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah.
It was fun. First time in a podcast, so thank you, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
It was fun. Yeah.
Nico's first time. Yes. If anybody wants to get a hold of you guys, is there any place that they can reach you at? Maybe you guys can give your Instagram handle if you're open to that. If not,
yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram if you want. There's nothing interesting there. So
a lot of baby pictures.
Yeah, that's a lot of family pictures. Nicolas with double .Gil. If not, just email me if you are a Salvation Army person, listen, and you need something about music. The new department has a new DMD though.
Yeah.
So
email him.
Yeah. Email him and me. But yes, and the email is ricardo.gil@usw.salvationarmy.org.
Yeah.
So we have a new DMD. So let's go.
Let's go.
The ball is rolling now.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, at __Adrian, ADRIAAN 19. My Instagram is private, so you're gonna have to request, and
mine too.
Who knows if you get accepted, but I have to recognize the name. But I mean, on Facebook, it's you can see, but it's a lot of baby pictures as well. Yeah, I know, right? Mi gordo.
Let's go.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. Adrian will only accept you if you agree with him. If you don't agree with him, you're out. Yeah, you're outside the gate.
It's partially true.
It's partially true. Yeah, just kidding.
Just kidding.
But Anyways, thanks again, guys, for jumping on the episode and just giving your thoughts. And once again, you're listening in. Just our thoughts, ideas. You can agree with them. You can disagree with them. It's all good. We don't all agree here on the same thing, and that's the whole point of this podcast. It's called Around the Table, to hear different perspectives and to actually hopefully show that we can actually sit at a table and disagree and still love each other and still see each other as people, as human beings. We don't have to be divided and divisive. I just encourage you guys to do the same thing. Talk to your friends about this stuff, find out what they think about it, and then just kind of go about your day. But once again, if you liked the episode, be sure to follow us, give us a share it with your friend, share it with somebody. And obviously subscribe to this podcast so that you get the new episode every time it comes out. So thanks again. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.